Morning students, today we have the topic of economic deprivation of the Muslim in India, means economic loss of the Muslim in India. So we will learn about what kind of loss the Muslim had in the past, means uh, in the War of Freedom 1857, when the War of Freedom 1857 was over. So um, although the Hindus supported the Muslim in this war, but they declared that the only Muslims were responsible for all their actions in the war. Means they totally denied that they are means they were not responsible for any action. Muslims were the totally responsible for the loss of economy. So that is why the British, dominated by prejudice and enmity, dismissed all the Muslim for government job, especially from army, and shut the door of the employment to the Muslim. The Muslims were deprived of their properties. Their properties were confiscated. Some Muslim landowners were turned out of their lands. Their properties and lands were allotted to the non-Muslims. So this kind of things were happened at that time after the War of Freedom, and Muslims were suffered a lot due to these sufferings and circumstances. The business of the Muslims was ruined. In order to get the support of the Hindus, the British gave them special business privileges. So that is why the British gave the chance to the Hindus to move forward and backward the Muslims in all the areas of life, in the jobs, in the business, and in other tasks also, and in the politician also. And the fourth one is the result of the industrial revolution in British. Better and cheaper products were manufactured there. These products were imported into India. It resulted in the destruction of cottage industry, which belonged to various nations of India, including the Muslim. So that is why, due to the industrial revolution of the British, Muslims were affected a lot, because uh, cottage industry was affected a lot, because Muslim made homemade things. So that is why all the business of the Muslims were stopped. The produced in Britain could be imported into India, but Indian products were demanded neither in Britain nor in Europe. The export of the Indian goods was affected, and millions of the people suffered unemployment, which included a large number of the Muslims. So that is why one of the main thing of deprivation is in the economy, means the products goods produced in Britain could be imported into India, and the export of the Indian good was affected, and nobody wanted to buy the goods of India. So that is why the economy of India was affected, and unemployment and the people suffered a lot due to unemployment, which included a large number of the Muslim, and Muslim faced poverty, and they became poor. Now the topic of the next page is two nation theory: origin, evolution, and explication. Origin means asal, mean reality, and evolution means undergo development, and explication means to explain, means two nation theory. What is the reality of two nation theory, what is the undergoing development of it, and what is the explanation of two nation theory. Two nation theory means in the perspective of the subcontinent. Two nation theory means the two nations. There are two major nations, either Muslim and Hindu, were settled there. Two nations were entirely different from each other. Their religion, their ideas, their way of living, and collective thinking. So, their basic principle and the way of living are so different that despite living together for centuries, they could not intermingle with each other. So, that is why the Indian Muslim fought the war of freedom on the basis of two nations. And after accepting this theory as a historical fact, two separate states, Pakistan and India, came into existence. So here are some views of politicians regarding two nation theory. This according to Sir Syed Ahmad Khan. He was the first person who used the term two nation theory due to Hindi-Urdu controversy in Banaras in 1867. He declared that the Muslim are separate nation. He convinced the government that there are at least two nations settled in the subcontinent. One of them is Muslim and the other is Hindu. Now, the second the politician is that Dr. Muhammad Iqbal. He said that means he presented the idea of separate state for the Muslim. He said the Muslim would not allow that their religion, political and social rights are suppressed. Therefore, I would like to see the Punjab, Northwest Frontier Province, Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, Sindh and Balochistan put together into a single state. Third one is Chaudhry Rahmat Ali. So, along with some of his friends, he published a pamphlet, Now and Never. So, in this pamphlet, he told all the politicians that the name of the separate state would be for the Muslim would be a Pakistan. As it is written here in this pamphlet, the name of the separate state for the Muslim was proposed as Pakistan. And the last one is, the second last one is Chaudhry Rahmat Ali. Means I have told you already, the first view of Chaudhry Rahmat Ali is that in the pamphlet Now and Never, he proposed the name of the Pakistan, and in the second one was the opinion of that the Muslim possess the history and civilization of their own, and on the basis of these two their nationality is not Hindustani but Pakistani. Okay, and the last views of Quaid-e-Azam regarding two nation theory is that Quaid-e-Azam was a firm advocate of two nation theory. He gave the Muslim the status of a separate nation in every aspect. So that is why he said Muslims are a nation according to any definition of a nation, and they must have their homeland, their territory and their state. So you have to read out these two topics thoroughly. So in that way you will get the more information regarding the economic deprivation of the Muslim in India and two nation theory. Okay, thank you.